unceremonious good morning. I had to get out of camp. The mosquitoes had overrun me. It wasn't bad last night, but let me tell you what. By morning, they'd figured out how to get into the tent. So my tent doesn't have like a sealed bottom or sealed sides. It's my hot tent from winter. So it has open bottoms, and if you don't make sure that it's set up just right, then there's holes that allow the outside to come inside. I don't know, it wasn't bad. It was very hot last night. But I woke up this morning and went outside the tent, and apparently the mosquitoes seemed to enjoy the fire because they were swarmed all around it. I don't know if the sound came out because I was just using the phone, but I figured I'd get out on the lake where the wind was, and that would keep the mosquitoes away from me. Mosquito tip for those of you that don't know: mosquitoes can see your carbon dioxide when you breathe out. So if you're walking, you're leading a trail that goes right to you. If you're in the wind will disperse it all and blow the mosquitoes. Mosquitoes aren't very good flyers, so they kind of rely on there not being a lot of wind. Out here on the lake, there's a lot of wind. Well, not a lot, but strong enough to keep the mosquitoes at bay. And what they don't get rid of, the good old off does the rest. Yeah, I was I got up in the building, I was like, there's a light across the lake. What is that light? It's that cabin. We was talking about it. But all in all, it was a pretty quiet evening. Had some spiders crawl on me. That was fun. Other miscellaneous insects of the night. So I had to get away from the mosquitoes. I didn't even bother making coffee. So should have grabbed the egg tray. Edit that out. But the mosquitoes were atrocious. So they carried me away when I was getting into the kayak. But it is a beautiful morning. Wow. It's 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish. Really want to. Oh. I don't know if I got that or not. And there's a bald eagle out here. The bald eagle just flew by. I'm going to continue to try to get him because he apparently lives out here. So out there by the back corner where I was yesterday, he was in a tree. So I don't know if he's he must have a nest nearby. He or she. Who can sex them at this distance? You know what I'm saying? I would call it it, but I don't want to mispronounce it. Why waste it? A little morning fishing. Wind, I feel like I'm probably being blown. I suppose I could watch the background behind me. That would tip me off. Okay. Should have brought that other lure. Should have brought the anchor. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Well, this is nice. Okay, that was him there. He just flew overhead. He's behind me, so I'm gonna get this line reeled in, and I'm gonna go and see if I can get a closer look on him. He's been perching on the trees around the edge. I don't know if he's watching me, waiting for me to pull a fish so he can snatch it from me or what, but alright, so I don't know if it's coming in or not, but in front of me, I think I see the eagle perched on that tree. I'm going to try and sneak in slowly and keep him center frame of what I think is him. Yeah, that was him. right. Well, that was fun, but I'm ready for some coffee. So I got the nesting pot. I have my French press and cups. So I am going to take coffee. One, two, five. Let's put 5 of those in there. This is my own special blend. I made this at home. It was salted caramel, dark roast, and I put roasted coconut in it. I get whole bean, so I grind it, and what I did is I ground the roasted coconut with the salted caramel, and it's like really good. So that's ready to go. Got that in there. I don't know if you can. There you go. A little bit of that. Let's get it nice and even. We'll set that like that. Let's take the pot and put it up here. So some freshly filtered water. All right. See if there's a little bit more in here. I like these. Yeah, this is not. I like these now. At the convenience store, you can get the aluminum instead of the plastic. I don't like the plastic, so I get the aluminum ones. This is just an aluminum one I got from the store, and I put my sticker on it. Smith Media Outdoors. So we're gonna do that. Let's turn this on. Now let's cover that up. And give that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All right, so coffee is boiling. Turn it off. Oh, that's not off. There we go. Okay. And that has gotten, it's kind of, I like to let it bloom. You gotta let the water bloom, right? I mean the coffee grounds. You put the coffee grounds in there, you put the hot water in, and you gotta let the coffee grounds bloom. That's when they puff up and they absorb. You gotta let the coffee grounds kind of absorb the water, you know, so that way they brew better. Okay, and so now I'll put the mesh in there for the press. And watching the grounds in there kind of settle a little bit. Looks like some of the coconut has remade itself. I like to let it sit for a little bit, so that way I get the maximum brew of the coffee. I use these ball mason jars, and I grind up, you know, what I need, enough for a couple of days, and then that way it's fresh. And then, you know, this morning's is real fresh, and then because it's in the mason jar, it maintains that freshness because it's airtight. So let's have some coffee. So we'll push the plunger down. should have. Sometimes, so they say, when you're making French press coffee, first of all, you let the coffee grinds or the ground coffee bloom. So that's absorbing the water that's in there. That's one. Two, after it's sat for a little bit and you put the plunger down, and then pull the plunger back up and then push the plunger back down slowly. And that's to make sure that none of the coffee grounds that were in there that may have been sheltered from the, from the hot water, then they get into the hot water, and then you absorb the coffee from them as well too. But then once that's done, voila, a mini cup. So we're gonna, well, the color's right. All right. Oh, smells coconutty and caramelly. So that's pretty good. Here we go. Proper good morning, everybody. Cheers. Yeah, that's not bad. So, day 2 of the escape from the suburb city to Watersmeet, Michigan, in the Upper Peninsula. So I have to go into town in a little bit because I didn't get enough cash to pay for 2 days. I only paid for the 1 day, and I just, wrote on the thing, we'll be making another deposit. So I have until like 3 o'clock. At least all of the deer flies and horse flies are out of this thing. So I am going to tidy everything up and straighten out the Jeep. You don't need to see all that. And then all right, well, that's it, guys. It's been great. It was an epic trip here to Pomeroy Lake in Watersmeet, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I'm gonna get this tore down. You don't have to sit through that. And I'm gonna get on out of here and see if quite possibly the mosquitoes aren't quite as bad over at Moose Lake, which is not too far from here. So until then, this is Michael, Smith Media Outdoors. If you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, please kill some bugs and hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost anything, as my friend Jack would say. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.